smelling the pillowcase. So all these things is to keep going to be bringing up memories and bringing up more hurt. And then you're going to look at the cards and the pictures and the gifts and all these things. So when I say clean house, it's time to either make some donations. Me, I like to make a little money. So it have so many apps out there. You can definitely sell some of the stuff. But before anyone get in any jail time, I like to make sure and say this. I would say make sure you text him or email him or whatever if you need to pick up any of his stuff. No, don't call him because you're going to hear the voice and then you're going to go back into why me and why. No, send a text or email. Give him some time, a week or two. He don't respond. You have that for the police officers when they decide to burn some of the stuff. So I say separate stuff. So some might be donated. Some you could sell some stuff and make some money. Some stuff you're going to have to burn. I burned a few things. So, and no cops came for me because I did send that email. So my thing is you need to separate yourself. And one person asked me one time, but what about stuff if he bought you like a television or a cell phone? Like mine had bought me like a really expensive cell phone. But this is what I would say to that person. I ain't say be stupid. But at the same time, if every time you're going to pick up the cell phone and be like, oh, he bought me this, and you're going to cry like cry, then you need to get rid of it. I didn't mind. I used my cell phone. I had no problem. When I watched my TV that he bought, I had no issues. But if you know you have emotional attachment to it, then you need to clean house, separate yourself to start a healing process. Damn, I sound so damn intelligent. But anyway.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, so you would say focus more on the things that have more sentimental value, because say like a TV is a TV, but let's say if it was a teddy bear that he got you for Valentine's Day, something like that would elicit more emotion.
Yes, because believe me, we're gonna be smelling them drawers and them t-shirts and them pants. We're gonna be, because let's be real. When you're in a relationship, he has a drawer where you put his stuff in this area, and you're gonna be looking in that particular area all the time. You honestly, you're just torturing yourself.
Okay. All right. So step number 1, clean house.
Yes.
All right. What's step number 2?
Step number 2, I call it church.
Church.
No. People is like, church, I ain't going to church. So church could be many different things. And when I say church, I always bring up this example. Most of the time, it could be a child or an adult, right? Anytime you go through any issues, there's 2 people you naturally say, regardless if you believe in God or universe, whatever you would choose, right? But as soon as something happened, you're in an accident, you lost something, and say, oh, God. You always look for God first. And if God not listening or God choose to ignore you, the second person you call, your mom or dad's not that much, but it's your mom. So I always say it's God first, then your mom. And the reason I say church, I say sometimes you need to connect with your spiritual side. And some people could choose meditation, you could do yoga, but sometimes you just need to pause and have that quiet time. And for me, if you need, and some people might actually need to go in church. You just need that atmosphere to just rethink things, regroup, and that will give you like another aspect of starting fresh and just reevaluating where you came from and where we want to go. So that to me, church just signifies a peace.
Yeah, like for the people who aren't overly religious, I just call it being spiritual.
Exactly.
You can be spiritual without being religious. To just sit in a room somewhere, just like you said, you can meditate. You can listen to a motivational video. Some people just go for a walk. I like to go hiking, and that's my recharge. Get out into the mountains, get out into nature, and just let the mind wander and just take in the sounds of nature. And that's how I bring myself back in if I'm ever going through a stressful time.
Exactly. And believe me, that does a lot of things, and that brings up so many different ideas. And because of that, you could actually decide what's your next step in life going to be. So to me, that's something we all need to definitely do. So you have that step 2 down? You good? You write it down?
I got it down.
All right, good.
Got it down. So for those just joining, so step number 1 was clean house, to get rid of anything that's going to bring you reoccurring pain. Step 2, get in touch with your religious or spiritual side to bring yourself back into focus and happiness. And Mss Francois will give us step number 3.
Number 3, link up with your friends. And I always have to make sure I have a disclaimer. Not the hoochie friend that gonna say, girl, you will live in our best life. Put on the outfit with your titties outside and the pum shorts for those. I'm Caribbean, so with your little butt cheeks hanging out. I'm not saying those kind of friends. Not the one that gonna be doing some weed on the side. Not those friends. We could keep those friends, but this is not the time to be reaching out to those friends. We need the friends that actually use their brain. Right? So this is a time, and you always hear that thing, you look at your 5 friends and you're the average of your five friends. I always say you need that confidant, that person that would just, you can talk to, that person that won't judge you, that person would more listen than anything else. Because a lot of times we have the friends that we call and what we're going to hear a bunch of, oh girl, let me tell you what to do, and this is, no, again, that person ain't got no man, that person marriage falling apart. So you need friends that you could be supportive, be there for you, listen, and believe me, that goes such a long way. My earring fall off, so I want to just make sure I look cute at all times.
Absolutely.
So just link up with your right friends. Just make sure you're keeping the right company, the positive company that's gonna be there for you.
All right, so let me get your opinion on this, because whenever people come to me with relationship issues, and then again,
they come to you with relationship issues. Interesting. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I have a gym full of women, so it's gonna come up at time to time. But I say pretty much what you just said. Like, if you're a female, I say if you're having trouble with your husband, seek out another man to get advice on, because you need someone who speaks man.
Just make sure, again, there's a fine line, because I have my confidant. He is a guy. He comes with 5 kids and a wife. I always say might be some mistresses and a girlfriend. I don't know, because with all these kids, it's ridiculous. But at the same time, but it have certain men you could go to, and it have the men that's just praying, waiting for you to have an issue with your man and then punksing you. So just know who you're going to for the advice.
Yeah, well, that goes back to what you said about picking the right friend.
Right.
Yeah, so you have the right friend, they can help you through, because what happens, especially if you're a female and your relationship's not that great either, you two are going to just get together and just bash men.
Exactly.
It's not going to be a productive conversation. But if you seek out that close guy friend and say, hey, am I tripping for thinking this? And just bounce it off of another man as well, and just get a different point of view. Because when I was having female problems in my last relationship, I wasn't going to other men, because they're like, yeah, man, I told you they all crazy. Right? That's what you're going to hear.
Oh, so that's what you all say about us?
hey, don't look me in. Right? But if you go to another female, I'm like, all right, so this is what I said. Like, does that come off wrong? And then I'm more apt to listen to her opinion rather than having a couple drinks with the guys.
Yeah. I think sometimes we go like a woman go to a woman because we just want someone to agree sometimes. Be like, yeah, you are right, even if you were wrong. So it just makes you feel better. And sometimes when you're being hurt, you just want to feel better, But
which is true. But to play devil's advocate, though, but it doesn't solve anything.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like, so you feel better in that moment, but you haven't done anything to forward the situation.
See, you're smart, Robert. Good job.
Okay. I try. You got to be able to back up what you're talking about if you're going to do a show like this.
Very true.
All right. So, step 1, clean house. Step 2, get in touch with your spiritual sides. Step 3, link up with the right friends. And step 4, lay it on us.
Passion project. One thing I definitely realize in being in relationships, especially in the beginning, women, we tend to forget about ourselves, right? And that's why I said this could be for man and woman. So with catering, we want to be the best girlfriend, the best wife, the whatever, the food, whatever it is, we want to do everything. And a lot of times we forget about ourselves, things that we want to do. We're trying to be supportive because, again, you want to say, oh, I'm the best girlfriend. No. So I always say this is the time where you come full circle, you refocus and remember some of the things that you was interested in doing and some things you forgot and put on the wayside. And it could be anything, regardless if it's more exercise, if it's gardening, if it's starting your own TV show, your own podcast, like just focus back on yourself. And like we were talking before, one of the things was listen to motivational stuff. Like I read a lot. I have my Earl Nightingale, my Les Brown, and again, all these things you can't do by yourself. It's nice to I can do everything, but it's impossible. I always say no matter where life brings you, someone helps get you there, good or bad. So my thing is a lot of these motivational stuff, like again, it's something you need to kind of constantly do. So some of my people I like to recommend, I love me some Les Brown. And again, I always say the one thing that once the one person doesn't fit all. So some people might Les Brown, he always tells stories that you can relate to. So I always say Les Brown is for basically most people. But then you have the Earl Nightingale. Some people might know who he is. That's like in the 50s. That's black and white. But I love me some Earl Nightingale. So it have the E.T. the hip hop preacher. Some people need to be shouted at.
That's my dude.
Exactly. Some people need a T.D. Jakes that ruffle you up. Some people need a Joel Osteen to rub, I always say Joel Osteen pats you on the back like, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
E.T. is like, no, it's not. So find what works for you. Try to find back what your passion was, and what you along the process. Where did you get lost? And start back and just start. So if it's cooking, maybe take a class. Look at a YouTube thing. Just start something and just go back to what it is that you love doing. And it's about you now. Just honestly, sometimes ending a relationship is a good thing because you more personal development, you get to know yourself more, you get to be more whole. Because a lot of times when you go in these relationships, we always want someone to complete us when the whole point we should be whole already and know what it is that we want and know ourselves to the up until that stage, because we're always going to be growing and learning anyway.
Yes. The part you said about independent, I'm glad you said that, because I say all the time, and this lockdown right now is showing us how not independent we are. just as a species. Like even if you have a job, you're dependent on that job. Like if you lose that job, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
If you have people who watch your kids, if you have a daycare center, like you're doing it with help. Just because you're not in a relationship doesn't make you independent at all. So like people who are independent, like you ever seen Naked and Afraid? Those people are independent. They're out in the middle of the woods, butt naked with nothing. Okay, that's the epitome of independent. Other than that, we have supermarkets, so you're dependent on farmers. You're dependent on the people who herd the cattle. Like there's so many things that we need in the course of our lives just for us to survive. And we hide under this facade of being independent. But at the end of the day, we need each other to survive.
Definitely.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong at all with saying that. It's like, I'm a single man now, right? I'm raising my 5 kids. I mean, I have 50-50 custody with the little three's mom, but I'm doing this household by myself. And yeah, it would be nice to have a female presence here. And I have no problem saying that. And this podcast is heard in 14 different countries, and I have no problems admitting that it would be nice to have a female presence.
No, I know. I'm sorry.
No,
no, Robert.
I can do it without.
It seemed like you're asking me, but no. The answer is no. I can't. 5 kids, way too much. Okay, but thank you for the offer.
You're too much. So with the passion project, I agree with that as well. Like I tell some of my clients that yo-yo, like they'll be committed for a couple weeks, then they'll fall off, is to find someone who's just starting and take them under their wing. So now that person is dependent on you or reliant on you for inspiration, for motivation. It's like, yeah, they're going to get it from me too, but sometimes to get it from one of their peers is good as well too. And I think that falls along the same line about starting something that touches your soul.
Yeah.
Versus then something that just makes you money. Because when I managed restaurants, yeah, I made money. I had benefits. I got bonuses. I got vacation time. But what I didn't have was freedom. Wow. Like you have to ask when you can use that vacation time. You have to ask when you can have a weekend off with the wife or the girlfriend. You have to get told how much your position is worth. Yeah. Like you had no control over that. So once I realized that I don't want to do that anymore, it made going in this direction so much easier. And now it's like I'm happy every day. Like my clients come in at 5 o'clock in the morning and they're like, how do you have this much energy? At 5 in the morning, like you are way too over the top right now. But it's because I'm doing something that touches my soul.
Right.
And that's huge. So coming off of a relationship, I see how that can help build someone up from within if they're doing something that touches their soul.
Right, doing something that they love.
Yes. All right. You ready for number 5?
I'm always ready.
Remember, stay ready. Stay ready. All right, lay it on us.
Number 5, volunteer. This is one thing we all do. Again, yes, we have to go through our process, but half the time you can't be saying, and he left me and he did this and this is what happened and I can't believe it. Okay, it's been like a year now. Like, okay, it's not always all about you. So sometimes when you refocus that energy and help someone else, it's a good thing. And I come across, because I do a lot of volunteer work having to do with kids. I don't do adults. They could someone else will figure that out, right? So my thing is, I love kids mainly because, again, they are the future. So we need to instill certain things in them as young as possible. So I always say, it could be simple. Even in a time like COVID, I have like random acts of kindness. It could be something simple. No one's saying if you choose to, because you could do food kitchen, you could donate. It has so many different things you can do. So I always say it starts simple, because a lot of people first, as soon as they hear volunteer, they're like, oh, I got to dig in my pocket and I ain't got no money. Start simple. Regardless if it's your neighbor, regardless if it's buying lunch for a co-worker, regardless if it's putting money in a meter. Like, when you do something for someone else, you have that nice feeling that you feel so good. So to take the focus out of you and your problems, which you think is, oh my God, the world is over because he slept with your best friend. I never liked her anyway. But it's not good for you. So let's take that, refocus it, and help someone else. And that could bring you so much more joy and bring you out of your funk also. And that's why I always like to tell people, because as soon as I tell people volunteer, they're like, oh my God, I don't have the time. Okay, you ain't that special. Everybody like to say they don't have the time. COVID have showed us that we do have time. And if you have time, you make time for what you choose to make time, what you deem important. Because I hate people, oh, I'm always busy. Busy doing what? But anyway, the whole point is help someone else. You're not the only one in the world going through something. People have it 10 times worse. So refocus, direct your attention, help a brother, help a sister, help the neighbor across the street. And believe me, that will make you feel so much better. And then you even realize that your issues is not even that serious.
Yep. I mean, outside of someone being a victim of a crime, I always say, there's somebody who's on their deathbed right now that would kill for your bad day.
And I know. And even though it might sound like something so simple you're saying, but if we really listen and heard what you said, it's so true. But we have this mindset like, oh, woe is me. Everything is an issue. Oh my God, my job. Like, you have a job. Like, one thing I myself is learning is, like, we all say things like, oh, you should be grateful. And I say we just say things now, but we're not really doing and really registering, like, I should be grateful. How far have I come? I should be grateful I have food today. So if we really seriously are grateful for what we have now, and even from where I came from, because even me being from Trinidad and Tobago, when I was younger, I remember looking up in the sky thinking America is in the sky. You don't know. So even coming from a whole other country, being an immigrant and, adjusting to a whole different culture, I have so much to be grateful for. And we should, even in our meditation time, church time, or Zen time, that's a time also to focus on all the things to be grateful for, and even be grateful for the things that are coming.
Agreed. There's so much, especially, I mean, I've never been to any other country, but just from what I've heard.
What the hell?
From what I heard from people who have traveled to other places, that people here are very spoiled.
Yes, you all are.
Spoiled and don't appreciate the things that we have. Just like basic freedoms that we have that they don't have in other places.
And you know what I always say, since I've been in this country 25 years this year, and I said one thing that it should be implemented. It might sound a little crazy, but I always say, like kids, even teenagers, like 10, 11, all those going up there, like the 2 months of vacation you all have for school. I said if they were to go to a foreign country, it doesn't matter. Just to have that experience, to have an understanding of certain things when they come back. And that's why I said I don't want it to be a week. It should be at least a month, because you start to adjust to your new surroundings. We're all going to have to adjust even if you don't like it, if that's what it is. But when you come back, you have so much more of an appreciation just for having the lights on, just for having your own room. Like having your, when I came here and my friend had her own room, I'm like, your own room with your own, like, what the hell? I had like 2 brothers, my sister and me, and that to me was normal. It's until you come here, you're like, what the hell? They living their life. They're rich. They have a door. We didn't have no door. Nobody had doors. It wasn't allowed to have a door, because my parents would never deal with someone slamming a door. Like, you ain't paying no rent here, so you all have a door. That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah, that's some great insight. Yeah, some really great insight. So your 5 steps, I love the 5 steps, but I feel it's missing something.
Well, that's what you hear. Let me hear what you think it's missing.
Right. So let's talk about it. Well, let's recap first. Yeah, clean house. Right. So getting rid of anything in the house that's going to bring you unnecessary stress or grief. You know, getting in touch with your religious / spiritual side. Linking up with the right friends, not the friends that are going to drag you down. Link up with the right friends. Start a passion project, just something that really touches your soul, and then volunteer. So giving service to others.
Good notes. Good job.
I feel what's missing is owning your part of the breakup.
Your responsibility.
Because so many times we just point fingers and saying this one did this one did that. But somewhere in there, you played a role in that person's actions. Sometimes, not all.
To me, there's always something. There's always something you could learn from, or what you could have done, or what you could have seen better, or what your part that you play. That's why I say it's always 2. So that's why it's like when people telling their friend, they're telling their friend all the stuff he did, but they ain't saying anything they did.
Yes.
No, exactly. You're right. And even like I said, the book that's coming out, like in the beginning, before I even get to the steps, I actually deal with all of that in the beginning, because you have to go, like I said, a little process before we even get to the extra, the 5 steps. So definitely we all need to take responsibility, and that's not even in relationships, that's just life in general.
Yes. Yeah. So like we're so quick to blame others for our own shortcoming, and I'm guilty of that myself. So
yeah, you look guilty.
Well, I've been single for a couple years now. But like I've gone from relationship to relationship to relationship, you know, without any breaks in between. So
man, like, whore. Nah.
It ain't all. But I mean, but like I said, but I can admit that like some people hide behind their history, and I won't do that. But in these last 2 years, I've just been focusing on me, like, where did I go wrong with this one? Like how did this one lead to this? Like, how did this one lead to that from my perspective?
Right.
Because it's easy to just say, well, she did this, so I did that. And she did this, so I did that. Now it's like, what happened within me that made me do that?
But you know what I also realized?
That's what's missing.
But you know what I also realized, especially with me, from my experience, even before the relationship could reach to 6 months, and a year or 2 years, there are a lot of times what I have done is they could have a red flag, a yellow flag, whatever flag. And sometimes what I do is I make excuses for the other person. Because I say, especially in the beginning, you're so like, oh my God, I'm in love, or whatever the case may be. You see the flowers and the sky and the smoke. But a lot of times, certain things we could even avoid being in the relationship if we would just see the flags and acknowledge what the flags and actually deal with that situation then, or walk away early. But I personally make 100 excuses for the person, and then 2 years later I'm talking about the same thing I saw in the first 2 weeks. So, and that's another responsibility you could take for acknowledging certain things early, and stop wasting your time and the person's time, because you could avoid all that. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, we have an experience. Hopefully, we do learn from the past, because people like to say, you learn from the past. No, most of us don't. Most of us just keep repeating the same thing. So that's why you have to, like you say, point out what take responsibility for, acknowledge what it is, and learn from it, and then go forward in a whole different mindset than using the same mindset you did when you was with John, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Yes. All right. Good. So do you have any bonus tips?
But you know what? The one thing I do realize in some of the relationships and stuff that I have, one of the things that definitely I realize is that I miss is the whole comfort. When you're with someone, this person's they somewhat become your world, and that adjustment from going from a couple with doing all these things, and I'm a very active person, so anybody I'm with, anybody out there who is listening, you have to do some sport, you have to do some exercise, eat healthy. I don't smoke, no drink, so I'm just throwing that out there, so that I'm always very active. And all the time I'm going on dates or doing things, and all of a sudden you're by yourself, and that is scary. And I would say again, this is when some of the steps would come in, but it's amazing how much we do lose ourselves sometimes, and just trying to get back to a space where I'm okay being by myself. And that, because at the same time I used to do stuff like that too, where you go in, you'll get so accustomed to that comfort and someone being there that you do go into relationship after relationship because you're searching for something. You need that peace, you need that company. But sometimes I feel like the space that I'm in, because I've been single for 2 years, 3 months, and 2 days. But anyway, it's an adjustment, but it's okay to be alone sometimes. It's a good thing. Take that time to love yourself, get to know yourself, do things for yourself. So when that right person comes, regardless if it's God is sending it, whatever you want to say, you're going to be whole and you're going to be ready, and it's going to be amazing.
Let me tell you, I've adapted quite nicely to being alone. So those first few months was a little rocky because it was been 23 straight years that I've been with someone else by my side. So that first couple of months, it was just strange. It was tough falling asleep at night. It was just weird. Like even missing the stupid arguments, like just to have somebody to argue with. But now it's like when it's my ex's weekend with the kids, people will ask me, "What are you gonna do?" I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy the silence of my house. It's like I'm gonna clean something and it's gonna stay clean. It's like I can eat whatever I want, whenever I want. There's no, well, what do you want? Well, what do you want? Well, you decide. All right, well, let's have this. No, I don't want that. It's like there's none of that anymore. And I'm like, it's nice to go in the bathroom without banging on the door when you're in the bathroom. So like after a while, I'm like, I'm in no real rush to get back out there. Like I'm kind of liking just having the peace and quiet now.
And another thing too is like give yourself grace, because a lot of times we're so hard on ourselves, because I think we go through this whole rocky thing. We blame him, we angry. It's like, don't expect everything to fix immediately. Like just like you said, you've been in relationship, then you're like, okay, I have this time. It's been 2 years. Like give ourselves grace. It's okay. The world is not going to end, and it's not always easy. But for me, I always say time and God is the only thing that gets me through it. All the other steps are great, but just having, that spirit, that patience with myself and time. It's amazing when you look back and you're like, what did I see and why the hell did I? So just give yourself grace. Be patient with yourself. And
you know why? It's because looks drag us in.
Damn right. He was like 6 feet tall, you know what I'm saying? Smooth chocolate dark complexion. So I'm just saying.
You start connecting, you start kissing and stuff. And
exactly. And all your senses go out your mind. Like like I tell people, I said I specialize in getting over breakups, because even like recently, because I'm an open book, who cares? So recently I even had this really strong energy and this connection with this person. And this person came with a lot of baggage. And normally I have all these rules. We women, we always have a list. And because of that strong connection, and it was something I've never experienced before. And I was like, I'm 42 now. I take 42 years to experience something like that. And he came with a lot of baggage. I was like, he had 4 baby mamas, 5 kids, ages range from 18 to 1. I was like, I will babysit them kids. I was like, I will have barbecue with the baby moms. And I was like, it's amazing how when you feel certain things, how certain things just your thought process is totally different. Now, it's nice that one thing I've learned from that experience, I'm glad I'm still able to be open, because when you come out of certain kinds of breakup, you're so angry, love is not for you. So one thing I learned from that, just that experience, is one, I'm ready to love. Like, I'm definitely ready to be in a relationship now compared to last year or the year before. And it's okay to be open. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay, and it feels so good. And even if the next relationship don't fully work out, it's like, just enjoy the experience. Enjoy being present in the moment. You know, we all have struggles, and that's another struggle, being present in the moment, because we women, especially, we could be on a date, we thinking about 100 things. I wonder if he's gonna ask me this. I wonder if I should ask him that. Just eat the damn salad that you know you normally don't eat anyway. Just enjoy the meal, enjoy the company, just be in the present, and learn, just be there. And we're just not good at that.
Yep. Very true. Like, I always say, just be your genuine self.
Oh Lord, that's but that's something self. Again, it sounds so easy, but job interviews, first dates with totally somebody else. You know, I always say that's the only time we bathe extra, makeup extra thing, brand new bra, brand new panties, everything is on point. You know, until you snatch the man, and then all of a sudden you don't wear bras no more. Okay, I put in my business out there, but whatever.
No, it's true though. You know, like, someone like me too, I'm super, super active. I'm super competitive. You know, so, you know, hanging out with me, you gotta be prepared to handle that, because like I am physically unable to not be competitive. I know I use too many negatives there, but and so many people have tried to slow it down and comment that it's just part of who I am.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
And another thing too, like, people always tell me, oh, Patricia, you're intimidating, your personality is too big, tone it down, and after he likes you, then you could maybe raise it up a notch. And there has been moments where I tried to do that, but again, I am who I am. This is me. So it's either you choose to adjust or accept me for who I am. And I see it like, maybe the next 10 men wouldn't be who is for me, but maybe the 11th or the 12th, I'm exactly what he needs. Because a lot of times I encounter men in their 40s or whatever the case might be. They all have big stomachs. Now, that I don't know what the problem is. At least women have an excuse that they were pregnant. I don't know what your problem with you men is. But it's like, after 35, it's like, I don't know if they let themselves go, or they're exhausted, or they're tired. So that is not, and I don't even want to say it's an age thing, but it does happen to, I'm just talking from my experience. They just let themselves go, and they're sitting down, oh, I've been there, done that. Obviously you didn't do it enough because you look like this now, and then you want to date something like me. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, no.
Mm-hmm. Like, what that boils down to is that going back to putting yourself on the back burner. Like, people think I have to focus on my career, I have to focus on my kids, and I'm like, I have to focus on me to be the example for my kids.
Exactly, and people forget that.
Yeah, like, people don't understand that fact that the kids watch what you do. It doesn't matter what you tell them; they watch what you do.
Always.
So, remember, one of the things that touched me the most when I got into fitness, like, it was a tough role getting there, but we got the standalone gym opened, and my daughter left a Post-it note on my computer. Like, we were at the gym that night, so I didn't see it till the next morning, and it says, "Dad, I'm so proud of you for not giving up on your dreams." Like, and
how old is your daughter?
I mean, she's 18 now, but she was, I think, 11 or 12 when she wrote that.
That is crazy.
And that touched my soul. I was like, that's amazing.
Yeah, that gives you that extra oomph. Like, all of a sudden you had a whole extra energy when you read that. That is beautiful.
Yes, and she's in college now, and she's planning on, you know, she's going into kinesiology. She wants to help people. She wants to help women. She wants to mentor young girls that grew up without their biological mom. Like, she just has this whole focus, and she attributes it to watching me transition from being in the restaurants, coming home miserable, missing everything, and to now where I'm happy. I can travel when I want to, and like, I just gave her that roadmap,
oh,
you know,
so nice.
to getting it done.
Good job. Took me.
Thank
okay,
you.
Maybe I will call you after, all right?
else you want to share before we break it down?
Oh, not really. But well, one thing, just make sure they know where to find the show.
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, it's Mss Francois, Mss Francois. And basically every social media, you could subscribe to YouTube, Mss Francois. It's Instagram, it's TikTok. And believe me, it's everywhere. So once you look up Mss Francois, I'm hoping he's gonna definitely put it there so you know how to spell the name. You could definitely.
I'm putting it right now.
Okay, awesome. So you'll definitely be able to follow. I mean, have fun, share it with other people. It's entertaining, it's fun, it's educational, it's empowering. Believe me, I love doing it, so you'll love watching it, and you get to see me. So we're all good.
And you have a wide range of topics.
Yes, a wide range of topics.
I've gone through your channel. A couple of them, I was like, wow, she ain't playing.
That's awesome.
That's great. Well, this was a lot of fun. So thank you very much for joining the show. Thank you for bringing that personality, as I knew you would. Ever since we met that first time, I've been looking forward to
that's awesome.
I'm like, she's going to bring it. Like, I know she's going to bring it. And you did not let down. So thank you to everyone who tuned in. Hope you guys got a lot out of this. Feel free to like it, share it. And thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, shut up and grind. Get out there and make your dreams happen. Have a great day.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye.
All right. So I stopped the live stream.
Woo!
So
that was awesome.